Hey everyone, it's FLAK. Obviously feeling a little bit under the weather today. Don't worry, not COVID, but you do get to hear my extra sultry voice here today. Battlefield 2042. Oh yeah. Anyway, Battlefield 2042's beta is somewhere on the horizon, and DICE is finally starting to get the ball rolling on properly showcasing the game. We got some gameplay highlighting specialists here recently, and developers have promised that more is on the way. However, with a little over a month until Battlefield 2042's release date, that's wild, isn't it? DICE has been incredibly silent on one particular aspect of the game's development. I asked you what your biggest concerns were for Battlefield 2042, and there was one answer that kept popping up over and over and over again, and that was AntiCheat. AntiCheat is an incredibly hot topic for FPS games, and it can be a widespread problem if it's left unchecked. Call of Duty and Warzone have banned tens of thousands of cheaters, and the same can be said for Rainbow Six Siege. It's a problem that isn't going away, and companies continue to struggle against the tide. This is made more problematic by the fledgling industry churning out cheats in the same way that developers run live support services. Existing Battlefield games haven't been immune to the scourge, and there are many reports of cheaters plaguing PC matches of Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, most of them in the Pacific region. EA does allow players to report cheaters, but they have been in the past criticized for a slow enforcement timeline. Similarly, while console players have enjoyed relative immunity from the cheating struggle, save for the occasional mouse and keyboard user, Battlefield 2042 supports crossplay, so for the first time in franchise history, this kind of effectively makes it everyone's problem. Some websites that provide hacks for video games are openly advertising their services ahead of Battlefield 2042's beta. Though there is no proof that they have functional hacks for the game, such sites have reportedly seen a massive uptick in interest. Of course, if you ask me, it's not a matter of if, but rather when hacks will be available for Battlefield 2042, and the important part is how EA and DICE will address that problem when it arises. Although developers are currently silent on the issue, there are a number of ways the design of Battlefield 2042 kind of inherently discourages hackers. The first is letting players disable crossplay. Next-gen Xbox and PlayStation players can opt out from crossplay and avoid matching with PC players. Unfortunately, it also means that they opt out from playing against each other, but the last-gen console players will enjoy crossplay between the Xbox One and PS4 without interruption from PC players. In the event that cheating does become a serious problem, Battlefield's Portal experience can kind of function as a last line of defense. In addition to supporting custom games, it of course also allows players to mete out justice and ban problematic players from servers. It may only be a temporary solution, but it does allow players some way to handle cheaters directly. Thanks to Battlefield 2042's AI system, you won't have to wait for those servers to fill either. It also has to be said that there isn't a tremendous incentive for players to cheat in Battlefield 2042. I know that can kind of sound silly, but it is a series based off of game modes like Conquest and Rush, right? Dying and respawning is the norm here. It runs counter to titles like Call of Duty Warzone and Rainbow Six Siege, where a death can have a tremendous impact on the team, or it could wind up costing you the entire match. In Battlefield 2042, if you die, you simply respawn and head back into the fray. The emotional payoff for the hacker probably isn't as great with that kind of scenario. Similarly, Hazard Zone is rumored to be player versus AI. Will cheaters find the experience of destroying AI players worth the risk of a permanent ban? Probably not. Again, there is little reward in killing AI players as, well, obviously it doesn't really ruin the game for them. There's also the fact that Battlefield 2042 isn't free. While Warzone makes it easy for anyone to create an account and play, that does leave the door wide open for hackers unless they get hit with some kind of hardware ban. Meanwhile, Battlefield cheaters will have to cough up $60 or so after every ban if they want to keep playing. And after a while, well, that starts to get expensive, even if you are buying stolen accounts. I'm curious to see how DICE will handle cheating in Battlefield 2042. Devs are notoriously quiet about tipping their hand when it comes to anti-cheat. Can't really blame them with that. This is something that helps protect the means and methods that they use to hunt cheaters. However, in the past, DICE did outline an anti-cheat approach with Battlefield 5 a few months back. In it, they described a 5-pronged approach: hardening the PC client against exploits, scaling up detection efforts, investigating deterrence methods, making reporting easier, and then reacting faster to new cheat developments. Hopefully, developers have spent a lot of time building out the functionality of Battlefield 2042's anti-cheat to the point they're able to quickly detect and then act upon cheaters. I will say I have actually been tracking EA's job openings for the last several months, and I will say that there was a noticeable hiring surge for anti-cheat positions. Fingers crossed it means that devs will be aggressive against cheaters right off the bat. EA themselves have also taken efforts to encourage players to activate this thing called two-factor authentication as a way to make accounts more secure and less susceptible to theft and then resale to cheaters, right? When a legitimate player gets banned, this is almost always the reason why that happens. A while back, EA actually gave players a month of free EA Play if they turned on two-factor authentication. Just saying, it might be a great time to revisit that method, especially since EA Play will give you early access to the Battlefield 2042 beta. Nudge, nudge, hint, hint. Meanwhile, EA no longer issues warnings for cheaters prior to banning them. I would still love to see some kind of creative approach to anti-cheat in Battlefield 2042, like AI death squads sent after cheaters. Warzone, for example, would match suspected cheaters in their own lobbies, so certainly DICE could get more creative with that. However DICE handles anti-cheat efforts for Battlefield 2042, it would be real nice to hear some updates from developers as we progress to launch, as well as a clear commitment to address cheats and exploits after the game arrives. I'm curious what you think about all this, though. Is anti-cheat a priority for you? What about if you play on consoles like me? Tell me down below in the comments. Make sure you toss out your best ideas on how to handle cheaters as well. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. Again, sorry for my voice here today. Might sound particularly monotonous. That's how colds work after all. But again, thank you for watching. If you want to support the channel, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, tap the bell to get updates on all future videos. And if you really want to help me out, keep your money, share this video. As always, thanks for watching.